everybody, it's Yvonne and Dexter back here with Freight Broker Chic. Thank you guys for tuning in again to another segment. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And so today we have back with us the Master Trainer.
Thank you.
Yay! And as we always say here lately, there is a lot going on in the world. We're not going to get into that. We've done several videos on the happenings and the tragedy going on around in the world. And so do keep all of those in your prayers. But our job still goes on as a freight broker. And so our customers, as well as the drivers, are being affected by world events, mainly with rates. Everybody is really concerned. I see you guys in the groups, and everybody's like, "How are you guys surviving with these rates? What's the best thing to do?" So Dex is going to come on today and share with us a little bit of strategy. And you, the broker, when the rates go high. Doing this, being in this industry for 20 years, trust me, this isn't the first time he's seen rates high. Maybe not this high, but everything is relevant. So when they were high the last time, everybody was still feeling the same pain that we're feeling today. And your customer still needs to get their commodities moved, and the driver still needs to work to support his family, and he needs to get paid a worthy wage in order to continue his business. And so that's why I asked him to come on today. So just kind of grab your notebook, save the video. He's going to give you some good information. Don't forget to take our training. The next one is going to be on April the 4th, 2022, where we'll add more nuggets into this. But he's going to share with you a little bit today.
Okay, so how do you actually do rates for a customer during times of volatile price changes because of fuel either going up or down, usually going up, and we are in one of those states right now. There's a two-part way of looking at this that I've always liked to use when these times arise in human history or in the business environment. First thing is, I like to spot quote. Spot quoting is when a customer tells you that they need to actually get something moved right then and there. So you post it out on the DAT, and if anybody's familiar with brokering, you should know what the DAT is right now. The carriers start calling in, they find out how much money that they're going to charge, and then you add your profit on, and then you take that back to your customer. So with the spot quoting module, or of that being a way of finding out what the market is bearing, you can do what we call ghost posting. Ghost posting. What is a ghost post? Ghost posting is just like spot quoting. You already know that your customer is interested in a lane and they need to get a rate and find out what the market is bearing right now. Because maybe the rating programs that you're using aren't exactly exact because of the volatility of pricing right now and fuel. So you go on and you ghost post, which means that you're posting out a load that's not yet real. It's going to be real if you win the bid or if you win the lane, but the carrier doesn't know that. So you ghost post the lane. You ask if the lane is actual lane that's going to be moving today or tomorrow. The carrier gives you your rate. You maybe, and if it's a bid, let's just say that you have an origin and you might have 25 destinations or even 100 destinations from that one origin. You should just probably only post out maybe 2 to 3 or more 4 lanes, ghost post them out, get the rates that they're going from different parts of the country. Then you can actually take that and do, how can I put it, add them all up, divide them by the same number, by 4 or how many of the numbers, and then you get a comparative rate of how much you should be charging for all those lanes. So you can say from this origin, I'm going to charge $3.85 on every lane. Now, you might not win every lane, but there you're going to win some lanes, and on those lanes, you are going to have enough money to actually move the actual freight. And if you don't have enough money on it, you can always ask for a rate increase.
Okay, that and great, and that's kind of the formula. And let's say I'm a new broker and I'm running into issues because I'm doing that, but I'm going back to my customer, and the customer's like, well, that's too high. We never paid that before. I mean, which is what is happening.
Yeah, well,
And they're saying, well, we're
the
used
real
to
world,
paying
the real world
X.
model.
I mean, I've had it happen.
Right.
I'm just saying, I've had it happen. They're saying, well, we pay X number of dollars for this lane.
Well, at the same time, the traffic managers are putting gas in their own personal vehicles every day, and they're seeing prices increase. No traffic manager does not know when there's a fuel surcharge increase. So they know that fuel just recently went up 70 cents in 1 week.
Mm-hmm.
So they know that when the price goes up, carriers are going to start asking for more money. It's just that the carriers start gouging.
Is that your
That's the closest way.
recommendation
That's my recommendation. If you're trying to get as close to what the market is bearing to do, or give your customer a honest to God rate that you know you can probably stand beside for a week or so, I think that you should ghost post a load out, and then add your profit, and then go and tell the customer, this is what I think I can move this lane for right now. Because with the volatility, there's no really other way that you can actually get the true unless you actually talk to the carrier, and the carriers actually tell you exactly. Your computer model might say this lane is only supposed to be, you should only pay the carrier $3.95, but when you actually get out to market, they're charging $6 a mile right now.
right? Which happens with contracted rates.
Right.
When you're doing contracted rates, and that's another thing, you're under a contract, and now the gas, we're all feeling that. We've all been there. The gas is now going through the roof, and so the customer is saying, well,
you have to stick to your rates.
You have to stick to your rate. That's what you said you would under contract. And so, what do we do in a case like that?
Well, sooner or later, you are going to get some pushback from the customer. But then once the customer starts hearing the same story from his complete and whole carrier base, both carriers and brokers alike, they know that they're going to have to raise their rates to be able to move their because what happens is it becomes a bidding capacity war.
Right.
You may not want to, as a customer, pay the bill as far as transportation, but if you don't pay the bill, another customer is going to get those trucks and the capacity, and even though they're moving it at a higher rate and is cutting into the profitability of the actual material, they're still keeping their customer happy and delivering to their customer. If you choose not to deliver to your customer will then sooner or later go and find the next available or almost just as good product to you. So sooner or later, you can only play the game. Everybody can only play the game for so long.
They can hold out. Basically, I think what he's saying is your customer is only going to be able to hold out, but for so long. And I'm not saying that's a negative or a bad thing, and it's not a game. I mean, this is just what the market will bear. And if you're used to paying $2.50, rate per mile for a lane, and now it's $4.50, and all the carriers are asking for $4.50, the shipper's not going to be able to move the product, or really have a difficult time getting that product to the marketplace. And we have seen where some customers have come back and just said, after conversation and emails and back and forth, they've come back and they're now going to rebid their lanes in the current market space, because they realized nothing was changing, nothing was getting cheaper. The rates were not coming back down to where they were, 4 or 5 years ago.
And traffic managers try to get creative. Sometimes they'll take the load and try to split the whole load up into 4 different LTL shipments, but that
you can only do that with some.
But at the same time, when you send something LTL, I call it the LTL black hole, because when you send something LTL, it might say it's supposed to be delivered in 1 to 2 to 3 days, but it could literally turn up a week from the time it went in. You never know with LTL. Right. Usually LTL is on time in delivery, but with the current supply chain issues and things of that nature, you just don't.
LTL is risky if you need it. I got a project going, and I got a crane on the job site, and we need it this day at this time. You don't want to go with LTL. You want to go with a full truckload. But yeah, and so we're all in the same boat right now, and it really is going to take working together. It's going to take knowledge. It's going to take knowing your customer. I've had some carriers who were running lanes and would come back and we'd negotiate and say, hey, what my customer is paying for this. And sometimes I've had to eat a little bit, just so I can get the load moved for that customer. I don't do it all the time, but if it is a carrier who honestly knows what I'm moving that lane for, he will work with me. But I still got to get the driver compensated. So you kind of have to maneuver with each carrier, each customer, based on your knowledge and expertise with them, and their trust in you, that you're being honest and you're just not, as the word Dexter always uses, is gouges. I hate when he's like,
Right.
you're out here gouging people.
But there's
And
also
it's
this is
like-
the time your relationship that you build up with your carrier base, and also the relationship you build up with your customer, that can come into play too. Because if you've got a really good relationship with your customer knows that you're always trying to save them money and not
Right.
and trying to keep their transportation bill down. And if your carriers always know that you've been fair about paying them and always trying to pay them the best amount on a lane, the lane, when things get sometimes tight, the carrier will work with you and say, okay, I'm not going to charge. I know I could be making this much on it right now, but for you, I'm going to give you this. And you can pass that savings on to your customer. Your customers happy because you're not hitting them in the park as hard, and everybody goes away happy. That does happen a lot in this business too.
Yeah.
It's not always, everybody's always just money hungry, but
Right.
there are money hungry people in every industry.
That's right. I've had and he's absolutely right. I've had many carriers call me back. They'll say, well, look, let me talk to my driver. And they call me back and say, look, I was able to talk him into taking the load for the rate that you and I agreed with. And then hey, I'm on my way getting that contract to you to move the load. So it, again, as Dexter said, is building the relationships. And once you have a carrier base that you're used to working with, I've had them just completely bend over backwards for me, because they know if I get a load on that lane, that I'm going to call them and hopefully keep their trucks moving. So is anything else you want to to add to all of this
Nothing
that we're in? Just, everybody don't stress. I do believe this too shall pass. But in the meantime, our job is to get product to the marketplace for our customers at the best rate that we possibly can. And we're doing our darndest to do that.
Well, the best thing I can say, if a carrier is asking an insane rate, let them know, hey, dude, you're asking an insane rate. Right now, we at the same time, so we all need each other. The broker needs the carrier, and both the broker and the carrier all need the customer. The customer shouldn't just be the victim because of certain world events. Now, unfortunately, those world events are driving up the price of fuel. Fuel is the problem. Fuel is the 800-pound gorilla in the corner at all times. So, but as a broker, you want to have a long-term relationship with your customer. Try to mitigate as much as possible price influxes and prices raising as much as you can. Don't be greedy. Go in and make the money that you've always made, because your customer will see that and they'll take care of you in the future. The customer will remember who took advantage of them during the time of taking advantage of it too. And they'll also remember who tried to work with them and actually tried to get them the best rates. So it's always a memory game. Always a memory game. And as a broker, you're only as good as the last load you moved.
That's right.
Y'all have a good day.
All right, you guys. Thanks again. And I'll have all the information in the comments, how you can reach out to us if you want to register for our next training. Again, it's April the 4th, 2022. We'd love to see you in the training. There's so much that we do, and we have so much fun learning from this guy and moving forward and helping you guys gain accounts. And it really gets exciting for us. And so do share, share, and subscribe to the channel. That helps us reach more people. And we will see you next time here on Freight Broker Chic. Bye-bye, everybody.
Take care.